Okay, back to work, so to speak. Remember I told you the World Trade Center happened, but it didn't. It didn't happen the way they said. It was well, it's a bunch of things, but I said this before. Remember the picture of fucking Dickweed Obama with his finger to his temple? And I said, he's pointing to the temple. So he, in his mind, and then he was speaking and he was creating. Remember I told you that's hot, remember? So you must remember that. Now, shut up, Twink, you don't know. And so what's happening there is, and I said this before, 9/11 was failed imagination. It didn't work out the way it was supposed to. And so if we listen to this, and then I'll show you what I'm going to show you, you'll have to come to the conclusion that I'm correct on this.
Mike Kelly, Bergen Record. I was struck in the report by the statement about the failure of imagination in our country, and I would just like to know, you've interviewed many government officials throughout your research. Is that failure subsided? Are we beyond that failure of imagination now? And what is the current state of that?
Do you want to take that?
I think the first thing that you have to ask yourself is, why are they phrasing it? It's a failure of imagination. Who in the fuck in their right mind uses the word failure of imagination when you're talking about supposed guys that did these terrible things? You see, this is how dumb people are. These guys know what's going on, but the average person has no clue that this is exactly how it went down. You'll see in a minute, but let's hear the idiot's response.
A failure of imagination we consider to be one of the major failures of the government. The fact of the matter is we just didn't get it in this country. We could not comprehend that people wanted to kill us. They wanted to hijack airplanes and fly them into big buildings.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Stop fucking around, you moron, and just tell them the truth.
And important buildings. Policymaker.
Important buildings. Remember, the word building is a verb. It doesn't stand for a solid four-sided object. Important buildings are things that they're trying to create.
Did not have the imagination to think of that kind of a scenario. There were hints here and there in a variety of places, but as a whole, the government didn't grasp the potential scenario that occurred.
How cornball the way they just keep people on it. Now, let's look at the truth of the matter, shall we? Let's get down to that. Path 21. What would that be? Well, should I do it? Yeah, let's do it. Fuck it. Path 21 would be what? Path 21 would be 3, right? So we're already there. And what do we got here? The 21st path is called the consciousness of desire, which fulfills because it receives the divine influence which flows into it as a result of the blessing it confers upon all that exists. And what do we see here? What do we have here? What is this? Gee whiz, do you think the Jews were involved? Yeah, you see how it's covered up with smoke? What do you think? Anyhow, it's interesting that 9/11, the towers came down, and this is a tarot card which shows Path 21, which shows people falling out of a tower that's on fire, and it's got yellow and pink. What do you think? And here's the blue. It is the immediate product of the mental plan. That's hard. And when it is consciously descends into Hod, the direct product of the lower astral plane. In other words, if you think it, you created it. The corresponding Genesis passages describes this blessing with the words, and Elohim, which is plural by the way, saw that it was good. Now, that's the story of 9/11. And you ain't going to find that on Alex Jones, and you ain't going to get that from fucking Jordan Maxwell, and you ain't going to get that from anybody else. No, I'm not smart. I just did a lot of studying. And I know that this place don't work nothing like what people think it does. It was failed imagination. The chances that a tarot card with a numerical value that adds up to 3, which explains to you what Hod is, and that it creates from speaking, from your thought, that the Congress in their investigation uses the exact words failed imagination, which is exactly what Hod is, and the word that Elohim says this is a good thing. Are you going to tell me all of that is just a coincidence? If you do, you're a retard and you need to be hit on the head with a tack. And no disrespect to people with challenged children, because there's a difference between being mentally challenged and retarded. This country is retarded. It's not mentally challenged. It's retarded. It's so stupid, there's no fixing it. You can't fix retarded. Mentally challenged, totally different thing. Retarded, willful stupidness. This is what 9/11 is. You better get this shit through your head. The chances that they call 9/11 a failed imagination, path 21 and the Kabbalistic tarot cards, which equals 3, which we all know is the Saturnian twilight zone, dream state, all of that stuff, has to do with consciousness, existence, speaking, creating, and bringing it from one reality into another reality, and gee looky, people falling out of a tower with the same exact color scheme, pink, yellow, and blue. Now, I told you I had to take a break. Break time's over. I'm back.